Make a friend on Instagram, make a friend on TikTok, make a friend online dating. Oh my God, we're not going to talk about that. Not everything is content. We're dealing with news fatigue and nobody's talking about it. Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hey girl, my name is Lucy. I always say to stay subscribed because we have a good time on this channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about things that social media have normalized, but they aren't really normal. We have multiple videos on this particular topic. It is a series on this channel, and I'm going to have everything linked below. I highly recommend that you check it because it is one of my favorite series on this channel. I love speaking about these things because they are important issues that we should address. If no one will speak about them, I will certainly talk about these things. Okay, now without further ado, let's jump right into the video. The first thing I want to talk about that social media have normalized, we talk about all the time, but isn't really normal, and I'm going to also tell you why. Everything being content. So I am saying that not everything is content. A lot of people might not agree with me on this one because you hear it. Even probably I've heard from me sometime when I'm talking about how to, start your content creation journey, how to be an influencer, that dream influencer, whatever, right? You hear it. They say, post your content. It doesn't matter what it is, post it. You will find your audience. There's typically or usually someone out there or a group of people out there that'll be interested in what you have to say and what you're sharing, right? That still stands. But, however, when we say everything, we don't literally mean everything. There are certain things that you see on socials. I personally see on socials these days that I'm like, okay, that's not content. I don't think we should know this. I don't think you should talk about this on the internet. I don't think this is something that you should share with another person. I don't even think this is something you should remotely think about sharing on the internet. There are a lot of these type of content, videos, pictures out there that people share and we know you shouldn't be sharing. When you see that video pop up on your For You page or your recommended feed, yeah, why am I watching this? And why did this creator upload this? Why did this person share this? This is not the kind of picture that I want to see. There are certain mental health issues, mental health situations, relationship, family, just your life that should not be shared with people. I also have another video, which that's a different series that I desperately need an update on, talking about things you should keep private, right? That video will pretty much shed insight on certain things that should not be for the third person or the second person. I'm going to have those videos as well linked below. Aside from those things that we touch on in those type of videos, and there are other creators that create certain videos on this topic as well that I think is also relevant. So if you're not sure the things that you shouldn't speak to people about, I highly recommend that you watch videos relating to this topic so you can have a proper understanding, because sometimes it's a thing of not knowing, awareness, or not being sure of what to say, where to say it, how to say it. But when you research, you're aware that there are certain things that you should not share or speak about. Aside from those things, there are certain life experiences that we have that I just feel like you should keep private. I'm gonna give you guys a few things that I've seen that I'm just like, let's just not talk about this. Can we just not talk about this? There are good aspects to sharing these type of things, and there are also bad aspects. Personally, I wouldn't share any of these, only if I absolutely have to. It's a learning moment for me. It's also a teachable moment. It's something that I feel like a lot of people will benefit from. But when I hear people talk about their dating stories, I kind of raise my brows. And hold on, before you say, oh, that's not bad. Look, I get it. It's not bad. I get it that, yeah, sharing dating experiences obviously teaches people what they should do, what they shouldn't do, how they should navigate the dating world or dating scene, right? But there are certain people that make it a routine to go on dates, specifically to come online and share the dating experience. So they take away from actually getting to know people, actually dating, but they're doing it more for content, right? And you know what I'm talking about, especially if you're on TikTok. There are a lot of dating stories that it's now a trend to make dating story times, to go on date and come back and share your experience. Some people are nice enough to actually be discreet about the people they go on dates with, while there are people that do not care. They just share, okay? They just say everything, spill the beans. And obviously you get engagements. People are nosy. People don't necessarily care about you as a human being or what you're doing or how mentally, physically, emotionally you're affected by the situation. It is gist, it is gossip, it is talk. I have said this a million times, people don't care. So you need to protect yourself as much as you can, especially when it comes to matters of the heart and your relationships. Certain things that you keep to yourself. There are certain things that are not worth, risking it. The views, the money, the attention, and the audience you get from talking about certain things is absolutely not worth your mental health. It's not worth the repercussions. It's not worth the aftermath. So yes, my first point on this is not everything is content. Contrary to what the internet tells you, not everything is content, okay? Now, the second thing that I feel like is normalized isn't really normal. That thing of like, everybody is doing better than me. It is a thing on social media, and I feel like it doesn't matter how much or how many times we speak about this, we need to keep speaking about it. It always looks, especially now, I feel like it has gotten really bad, worse. From my first episode, I know that I touched on something like this a little bit, but now I feel like it has gotten worse. My first video on this series was last year, maybe, or the year before. No, actually last year. From that time till now, it has gotten worse. Everyone is put together. Everyone looks good. Everyone is a baddie. Everyone is rich. Everyone is living a luxury life. Everyone has their life together. Everyone has their shit together. Everyone knows how to do their makeup. Everyone knows how to do their hair. Everyone uses the best and the nicest things, smells the best, wears the nicest clothes. On the internet now, it's almost impossible to find someone. I mean, that could be argued, but you find more people that look good than quite opposite these days on the internet, and that's just the truth. And it kind of gives that mentality of people are actually leaving, people are actually doing better, everyone is doing better. I need to get with the program, I need to keep going, I need to get ahead of things, I need to catch up. So it's worse. The idea and the thought of doing better, getting better, being rich, having your life together, living in a luxury apartment, doing what everyone is doing has gotten exceedingly much high. It is ridiculous these days. I just want to tell you that it's not normal. If it looks like that to you when you go on your app, what you need to have at the back of your mind, you should have always in your head is when everything looks good like that, something is fishy. When things seems to be like, oh my God, it's all roses and it's shining, it is absolutely dirty and nasty inside. And this is not to say that people aren't really doing well. People are doing well, but not better than you. No matter how you look, no matter what point you are in your life, you are doing well, okay? It might look like you are not going far ahead because people just know how to package themselves really well. And that's truly what it is, packaging. Everyone is just trying to look good, feel good, perceived as rich, perceived as luxury, perceived as having it all together, but in reality, they really don't. Majority of these people, celebrities that you think are celebrities, creators, content creators, influencers, just public figures, people that you quote unquote look up to, right? They really don't even have it as much as you do. You need to realize that. You need to understand that. I need to keep saying that because a lot of people don't know this. People don't know how to understand this aspect of life. So as much as I can say it, I'm going to keep saying it. Many of these people that look flashy, have it together, have fame, have numbers, have audience, have quote unquote communities, look like they have it together, actually do not have it together. In the past couple of months, you've seen a lot of this, your popular people, your faves, being called out for the most pettiest things, not being able to pay bills, borrowing money up and down, borrowing wigs, borrowing outfits, running off on bills. There are a lot of them that have been called out in the past couple of months. That should tell you a lot. That should tell you so much you need to understand about life, social media perception, how people truly live their lives. So you're doing good. Don't let social media deceive you that you're not, because you're absolutely where you're supposed to be, doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you are doing things right, okay? Now, the third thing I want to talk about ties with my first thing in a way where I spoke about everything not being content. I'm going to talk about depressive episodes on the internet, which is actually one thing that I would say is not content worthy, okay? It's something that I could definitely put as an example to my first point, but I feel like it deserves its own point because I need to speak about it separately. I've seen so many videos on TikTok. I've seen a lot of videos on Instagram. Honestly, mainly on TikTok. TikTok is short form content and reaches a wider audience quickly. So people tend to utilize that platform to spread things quicker and faster, especially sad things, news, cancel culture, all that, right? Exposing people, exposés, whatever they want to call it. TikTok is typically the platform that you go to get all these things. Now, I have seen these depressive episodes being shared. Let me put it right so that I don't come off weird or rude, right? It's not like I don't feel sympathy sympathy for the person who's having the depressive episode. There could be several reasons why people choose to post this online. For the most part, could be because they're raising awareness, just to make you see the side of this illness that they're dealing with, mental illness that they're dealing with, what it looks like, what it genuinely looks like. And sometimes it does help to shed light on what people with those illnesses genuinely go through and what they are fighting on a daily. Sometimes it does work positively in that light, right? But there are people that do it repeatedly to the point where it just screams attention seeking, in my opinion. I feel like the amount of times you have your breakdown on TikTok and then go ahead and film it, record it, edit it, post it, because you must also understand that for you to film yourself and post it online, it goes through a process. And that process is filming, editing, checking multiple times even to double check what you've edited, rewatching it over and over and over again before it actually goes online. So it takes a lot for you to actually do that. You could use that time to seek professional help. And that's my genuine opinion. And I just feel like instead of coming online to cry and to seek sympathy from people that genuinely don't even have it in them to give it to you. Honestly, I'm going to keep saying this. It is all jokes, kiki, laughs, gossip to people. They don't care. Okay, so when you come online and do these things, it's more of entertainment to them than actually sympathy or trying to help you. Genuinely, they don't care enough to help you. There are certain people that have actually received help from strangers online in terms of navigating their issues. They've had favors extended to them, not going to lie, right? But for the most part, I just don't see why. Okay, I really don't see why. Like I said, there are times where people that you know, popular people that you know, or like just random people have shared an episode one time, 2 times, maximum 3 times, but their entire content isn't based off of that. It's not based off of multiple depressive episodes or outbursts or meltdowns. Their channels and pages aren't based off of that. And I have seen people that genuinely just want to show a human side and a realistic side to this person that everyone seems to love and care about. I've seen that and I've really admired that. I have appreciated that vulnerability on the internet, right? But you see those ones that actually have this as a career, to come online and seek sympathy from strangers that genuinely do not care. I raise my brows. I actually question every bit of what you're saying, how you're truly feeling, what you're truly going through. I question it because yeah, it's weird. I'm sorry. It's really weird to think of or to even do, right? I just think with the time that you reach out for strangers' help, you can reach out for professional help. There are genuine, realistic help you could get from people that are closer to you than coming to strangers online. And now I know that there are situations where even people online help you better and quicker than people you have in your life. That's a valid point. But for the most part, please don't do it. Now, the fourth thing I want to talk about is the normalization of digital relationship, and this can be a whole topic on its own, but I'll briefly touch on it, and if needed, or if I feel the spirit and the willingness to do this as a whole video on its own, which would be really good to be honest, then I'll do that. Ever since we experienced whatever we experienced a couple years ago that completely changed the world, shed a whole different light to human relationships, life in general, things have changed, and rightfully so. Okay, we have gotten to appreciate our relationships, alone time, our lives, and how we navigate life. But I feel like that has been overly abused and normalized to the point where physical face-to-face interaction and organic way of meeting people have completely gone down the drain. It is so sad because a lot of people now deal with deep loneliness and anxiety because of this, which now that I'm speaking about this, it should actually be a whole topic on its own, and I'll talk about it. Loneliness, digital relationships, face-to-face interactions, and just how we're living life now that has completely diminished our health, mental health, life, and way of living, right? I'm going to talk about this separately. And now, because digitalized relationship is a thing and it's normal, especially, being preached about on social media, make a friend on Instagram, make a friend on TikTok, make a friend online, online dating. Oh my God, we're not going to talk about that. All of these digital online interactions and relationships have become so normalized that I think we have lost the value for human beings, like in general. Our quality of lives and interaction with people and sense of community is now in the drain. Honestly, even me just saying that it is not normal is not enough to lift this normalization. I don't even think it's enough. That's why I'm now thinking, okay, a whole video would be appropriate for this topic. I'm not saying that it's bad to meet people online. I feel like there should be a balance, and that balance should not take the sum of this action. The balance should not be equal. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm not saying 50 you meet people online and 50 you meet people in person. I think actually having human face-to-face interaction and actually getting to meet people in person and creating a community is way more important and should be prioritized over meeting somebody on Instagram. I think we don't talk about this enough. A lot of people have been brainwashed to understand or to believe that it is better to create relationships from the comfort of your couch, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But at the same time, think about what that does to your mental health and your quality of life and living. If you only find it profitable, valuable, meaningful for you to actually have these connections from your bedroom, I think you have a bigger problem to deal with. If you cannot go out there and mingle and network and create a life and a community worth living and worth appreciating or worth building, then that creates a deeper issue and actually begs a bigger question of like, how are you doing mentally? How are you doing there? You know, definitely not normal to prioritize digital relationships over face-to-face human interaction. And I will definitely stand on that. As someone who pretty much, you know, works from home and also loves solo everything and spending a lot of time and building relationship with yourself, I definitely can relate to also like, you know, having community and breeding community online, but it will definitely not be priority over, you know, going out there and actually having human interaction, face-to-face human interaction, you know, meeting up with people, doing things as humans are supposed to. People need to come back to that. People need to understand that. People need to learn that. People need to pick that back up because we have lost it, deeply lost it. Initially, it was because we didn't have a choice. At some point, we didn't really have a choice. But the moment we had that choice, I feel like we needed to start encouraging people to go back out there and go back to the way things are supposed to be done, as opposed to just dwelling in how it became at some point, if that makes sense. Now, the fifth thing I want to talk about is one that I feel like could be a little bit, you know, controversial and as well as sensitive, you know, but I feel like one of the major things that have affected us that people have normalized, and I definitely think is not normal, is the perpetual exposure to news. And what I mean by this is the constant stream of news, sharing of news, exposing people to news, instant access to news, honestly can be a good thing. This is where I see conversations come in and be like, okay, maybe it's not necessarily just a bad thing that is normalized. I can agree with that to a certain extent. I can agree to that in a certain degree. But to be honest, I feel like the way news is shared and spread these days is the reason why we deal with anxiety, why majority of our population of the world deals with anxiety. The way it is shared these days always builds or creates that sense of urgency and you're stressed. In fact, I feel like we're dealing with news fatigue and nobody's talking about it. Like nobody's talking about how mentally destabilizing, frustrating it is to be bombarded with so much information. Majority of it is actually, I don't want to be rude to use the word that it is reformulated, baked, just molded in a way that isn't actually what it is. There's a high competition in the market for trends, your voice to be the one that is heard over 1 million people out there. The creativeness, or I don't even know what word to use, but I'm trying to put it in a way that is not seeming like I'm bashing every news channel or news outlet out there, right? The urgency or the urge to create something that is catchy and compelling and attention grabbing is so high that people don't even mind telling false news or over exaggerating a situation just so your attention is grabbed. But what they don't realize is that creates anxiety within everyone watching. That gives you that sense of, oh my God, there is fire on the mountain. The world is burning. There's chaos. The world that we live in is completely going to shreds. You know, it's that sense of anxiety. Every day you wake up, every hour, every minute you pick up your phone, there is something going on. There is something terribly wrong somewhere. And and the titles, the captions, insanely insane. The reason why I don't follow any news page or any tea page, because news now is no longer the regular or conventional way of like sharing news as we've known it or we used to know it. We have regular people sharing news, doing investigative work. We have YouTube channels, TikTok pages, Instagram pages, regular people taking it upon themselves to go out there and do the job of a journalist, do the job of the police, the government, to just work on their own and come back and feed us with whatever it is they think will grab our attention. And we're fed with so much information that it is so hard to not fall into depression or anxiety on a daily. It's like you're struggling for our lives these days, and nobody is talking about this news fatigue. I don't follow those tea pages, those news pages. I don't. When there is something that really piques my interest and I get to know of it, I go and look for it and read on it and exit. You will never catch me following those shade room. The UK have the shade bureau. Nigerians have Instablog. There's one that literally is just a menace to society. I've forgotten what it's called honestly right now, but I'll put it on the screen if I can remember. A lot of these things out there, and I try my best as possible to stay away from them because it is not good for my mental health, and I will protect myself as much as I can. And I'm going to ask you guys to do the same as well. The amount of information that we're being fed is unhealthy. They can share a particular story in multiple ways. You're not even sure which one is the real one. 90% of the time, none of them is really what actually happened. Nobody's even talking about the desensitization of important issues just because we have news fatigue and we're literally bombarded with so many things. So much is on the table. You know what? We could talk about this on and on and on and on and on, but this is where I'm just going to leave it off for this video. And I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. We love to have a good chat on this channel, so feel free to let me know what you think about the topics that I spoke about or the points that I gave in this video. Follow me on this channel if you're not following me. I also am on different platforms as well, TikTok and Instagram. I'm going to have all of that linked below. Again, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.
Those of you that are listening in your car, at your job, you at home, I don't care where you at. Turn this up right now, because we're about to go in. Hey,